Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2023 Okaloosa Schools Academic Tournament. This year, we have 7 schools from Okaloosa County going head-to-head in a double elimination tournament format. These standout students will be displaying their knowledge of math, science, history, fine arts and literature, pop culture, and more to determine our tournament champion for 2023. I'm your host and moderator, Stella Verswyvelt. Lisa Nall will be our timekeeper and scorekeeper, while Eirik Bernal Zeller and Nathan Fiorino will serve as our chief judges and make the final decisions on all things official. Eirik Zeller Bernal is a flight test engineer with a background in mechanical engineering and optimization techniques. He works on the tests and evaluation of air-to-ground weapons at Eglin Air Force Base. Nathan Fiorino is a first lieutenant in the United States Air Force, working as a developmental engineer in the Armament Directorate at Eglin Air Force Base. This is his first assignment as an active duty officer, and he has a background in aerospace engineering with a bachelor's from The Ohio State University and master's from the Air Force Institute of Technology. Today's teams are from Baker High School and Rocky Bayou Christian School. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our different Okaloosa schools, and we'll be back shortly to introduce our team members. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Let's go ahead and introduce our coaches and teams for today's match. Our coach for Baker High School is Beverly Burke, and here's your team.
Christian Oglesby, senior.
Andrea Barnhill, senior.
Jolie Sloan, senior.
Madden Sowell, freshman.
And from Rocky Bayou Christian School, our coaches are Michael and Julie Mosley, and here's your team.
Delaney Weisbrook, junior.
Christopher Sealing, junior.
Scarlett Stevens, junior.
Michael Mosley, junior.
Okay, now we'll get started with the tournament. Toss-up number 1. The subject is social sciences. The ancient Chinese believed this fruit was a symbol of immortality. The ancient Greeks dedicated this fruit to the goddess Hera. In Boeotia, the goddess Athena was the mother of the tree that grows this fruit, especially after she rescued the king Perdix.
Olive.
That is incorrect. I'll start the question over for Baker School. The ancient Chinese believed this fruit was a symbol of immortality. The ancient Greeks dedicated this fruit to the goddess Hera. In Boeotia, the goddess Athena was the mother of the tree that grows this fruit, especially after she rescued the king Perdix. Name this fruit whose tree on the first day of Christmas was given to a lover with a partridge in its branches.
Pear.
That's correct. Your bonus is in literature. Name these famous people from their fictionalized biographies by W. Somerset Maugham. Part A. This French painter of Polynesian life is the subject of The Moon and Sixpence.
Time.
The answer was Paul Gauguin. Part B. Though Maugham denied it, his novel, Cakes and Ale, has long been thought to tell of this British author of Tess of the Duberville and Far from the Madding Crowd.
Time.
Thomas Hardy was the correct answer. Toss-up number 2 is in science. Frederick Hopkins won a Nobel Prize, for discovering this fat-soluble vitamin that is found in retinol in the human diet. Children lacking this vitamin are more likely to develop serious diseases, including night blindness. Sweet potatoes, carrots, and other vegetables that look...
Vitamin A.
That's correct. Your bonus is in math. Pencils and paper ready. Give these common trig values in square root form. Part A is the cosine of 45 degrees.
Square root of 2 over 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Square root of 2 over 2.
Yeah, square root of 2 over 2.
That's correct. Part B, the tangent of 30 degrees.
Oh, is
That'll be 1 over 2, right?
Is it just
no,
one?
isn't it square root of 3?
No, I'm
3
pretty sure
square root of
it's
2?
pretty sure it's 1 over 2.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, no,
because
it's 1
because you
over
have to
square root of 3.
1 over square root of 3. Okay.
So it's 1/2 of the square root.
Square root of 3 over 3.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Do mental math right then.
Sorry, man.
How much are
All right, moving on to toss-up number 3. The subject is literature. A recent takeoff of this novel is set in Baghdad, where a junk dealer collects body parts of bomb victims to create a single body that he calls what's-its-name, only to have the body suddenly come to life. Name this Mary Shelley...
Frankenstein?
Yes. Rocky, your bonus is in history. Established during the Crusades to protect pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land, this group's business dealings across Europe may have created the world's first multinational corporation. Part A. Name this medieval military order famed for wearing white mantles with red crosses.
Knights of Templar.
Okay,
Yeah.
Knights of Templar. Knights of Templar?
That's correct. Part B. Once Muslims captured Jerusalem, the knights were evicted from this hill within the city that had been their headquarters.
Starts with a P.
Palestine?
Palatine.
Palatinian.
Palatine?
Oh, is that a Rome?
Palatinian. Oh, yeah, it's Rome.
So it's okay. Palatine.
That's incorrect. The answer was the Temple Mount.
Oh, we way overthought that.
Toss-up number 4 is in math. This word can mean square, but more often defines an equation with no term higher than second degree. Give this adjective that describes both equations like x squared minus 5x plus 17 equals 0, and the complicated formula that can be used to solve them.
Quadratic?
That's correct. Rocky, your bonus is in fine arts. Give the musical adjectives that precede the words seventh chord in these cases. Part A. A major triad is combined with a Part A. A major triad is combined with a minor seventh.
That's dominant, right?
Yeah. Dominant.
That is correct. Part B. A diminished triad is combined with a minor seventh.
Is it half diminished or fully diminished?
I don't know.
I think it's fully diminished. Yeah. Fully diminished.
That's incorrect. It was half
Oh my
diminished.
goodness. Oh, my bad.
Okay, toss-up number 5 is in history. Though he is quoted as saying, "To get rich is glorious," hundreds of millions of his communist subjects still lived in poverty even after the 4 modernizations he started during his 1980s leadership. Name this criticizer of the 1960s Cultural Revolution who succeeded Mao Zedong as leader of the People's Republic of China. Rocky.
Mao Zedong.
That's incorrect. Baker, do you have an answer? Okay. The correct answer was Deng Xiaoping. Okay. Moving on to toss-up number 6. The subject is fine arts. In ancient times, artists used an axe or chisel to remove the outer layer of this material before using it, along with a bow saw to cut a large piece of it into smaller pieces. Today, artists use rotary saws and dental drills to create artwork from what material? Usually obtained from walrus or elephant tusks.
Ivory.
That is correct. Baker, your bonus is a miscellaneous question. Answer these about players inducted into the baseball's Hall of Fame in 2022. Part A. This Red Sox great nicknamed Big Pappy was elected in his first year of eligibility.
Time.
The answer was David Ortiz. Part B. Outfielder Tony Oliva spent his whole career with this American League team after it moved to its current city following 60 years as the Washington Senators.
Time.
The team was Minnesota or the Twins. Okay? Toss-up number 7 is in science. Pencils and paper ready. The element beryllium has an approximate atomic mass of 9. If a mole is estimated to contain 6 times 10 to the 23rd atoms, estimate the number of atoms in 3 grams of beryllium.
2 times 10 to the 23rd atoms.
That is correct. Your bonus question is in language arts. Spell these Italian musical terms. Part A, adagio, or slowly. It means slowly.
That's what you got, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Adagio, Adagio.
That's correct. Part B, fermata, or the holding of a note.
Did you get those?
Yeah.
Okay. Fermata, Fermata.
That is correct.
Time.
That's the end of the first half. We'll be back with the scores after these messages. Welcome back. We've got a halftime score of Baker 20, Rocky Bayou 95. Our teams have some substitutions and they will now introduce themselves.
Colt Stevens, freshman.
Alejandro Alvarez, freshman.
Hayden Miller, freshman.
Michael Richards, freshman.
Okay, we'll continue the match now. Toss-up number 8 is a miscellaneous category. One of this group's 7 original schools was the University of Chicago, which dropped sports and left the group after World War II, just before Michigan State joined the group. Identify this sports league whose members were once only in the Midwest, but will soon include colleges from coast to coast, including Maryland, USC, and UCLA.
The Big Ten.
That's correct. Baker, your bonus is in social sciences. Judaism divides the Old Testament into major sections. Part A. This one contains the 5 books of Moses.
Time.
The answer was the Torah. Part B. This final section includes the writings of Isaiah and Malachi.
Time.
Okay, the answer was the prophets. Moving on to toss-up number 9. The subject is literature. In his only collection of poetry, revised and added to on numerous occasions, he says, I am large, I contain multitudes. In his poem, I sing the body electric. Rocky?
Whitman.
That is correct. Your bonus is in math. Pencils and paper ready. Lines A, B, and C, D are parallel and run horizontally, with A and C at the left and A, B above C, D. Line EF is a transversal crossing the other two lines with E at the top. Point G is where the top line meets the transversal, while point H is where the bottom line meets the transversal. If angle AGE is 42 degrees, give the measures of these other angles. Part A, angle AGH.
Wait,
It's just 180 minus 42.
yeah.
Okay.
So it's 138.
138, yeah.
Yeah. 138. We're good.
Mhm.
138.
That's correct. Part B is angle BGE.
BGE will also be 138,
38.
right?
Yeah, 138. 138.
That is correct. Toss-up number 10 is in math. Pencils and paper ready. Give the beginning coordinates of a point that, after being translated 9 units to the left and 8 units down, becomes the point 4, -3.
13.5.
That's correct. Okay, Rocky, your bonus is in history. Answer these about the Revolutionary War's Battle of Saratoga. Part A. It took place in this state in 1777.
Yeah. New York.
That's correct.
Okay.
Part B. This British general, nicknamed Gentleman Johnny, went back to England after he lost.
Is that Cornwallis?
Cornwalls?
That's just who I came up with.
That's the only one I can think of, but it's not him.
It's probably
It's
Nelson.
not It's not Cornwallis. Nelson.
That's incorrect. The answer was John Burgoyne.
I didn't want to figure it out.
Okay, toss-up number 11 is in social sciences. The U.S. Geologic Survey defines this mountain range into 13 parts, including the St. Lawrence Valley, the eastern Newfoundland Atlantic, the Atlantic coast uplands, and New England. Name the mountain range that does not include the Adirondacks, but does include the Piedmont and the Blue Ridge Mountains. Rocky.
Appalachian.
That's correct.
Good job.
Your bonus is a miscellaneous question. Answer these about the singer Lizzo. Part A. This is her real first name.
Oh, Elizabeth. I think it's Elizabeth.
I mean, that's a good guess, yeah.
Elizabeth.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
It's Melissa. Part
Sounds
B.
better.
She studied this instrument
Oh,
at the
flute.
University of Houston and played one in 2022 that James Madison once owned.
Good job. It's flute.
That is correct. Toss-up number 12 is in fine arts. In 2005, a Pennsylvania librarian found an 1825 written piano version of this composer's Grosse Fugue. Works from this composer's middle period include his violin concerto and his only opera, Fidelio.
Beethoven.
That is correct. Your bonus is in literature, Rocky. Answer these about short stories by Nathaniel Hawthorne. Part A. The Reverend Mr. Hooper wears one of these title objects over his face for the last part of his life.
Mask or a veil?
It's a veil. It's the black veil.
Okay.
A veil.
Can you be more
A
specific?
black veil.
That's correct.
Good job.
Part B. This title character and his young wife, Faith, live in Salem during the town's witchcraft era.
I don't
Like
know.
John Stacker or something like that.
John Stacker?
It sounded like that, but I don't remember what the last name was.
John
Just go
Stacker.
John.
John Stacker.
No, that is incorrect. It's young Goodman Brown.
That's cool.
Very close.
Toss-up number 4. Pardon me. Toss-up number 13 is in science. Jocelyn Bell Burnell was the first to discover these in 1967, but did not share the Nobel Prize given for their discovery. The first one was nicknamed LGM-1 for Little Green Man. Give the term for these rapidly spinning neutron stars that emit short bursts of energy from their magnetic poles. Rocky?
Nova.
That is incorrect. Baker?
Time.
The answer was pulsars. Okay, toss-up number 14 is in language arts. In chess, this word is a noun meaning an alternate solution to a problem or study. In accounting, it is a verb meaning to falsify the books. With the word up, this word means to create a scheme. While with the word out, it is an outdoor party where hamburgers and hot dogs are grilled. Give this four-letter word for Rocky.
Cook.
Yes, that's correct. Your bonus is in science. Identify these nonmetals. Part A. This gunpowder ingredient was biblically called brimstone.
What's in gunpowder? Lead?
Lead.
Obsidian.
It's non-metal. Let's come up with something.
Time.
Well,
The answer was sulfur.
sorry.
Part B. In the late 1700s, it was called burnt air or noxious air as scientists learned that oxygen is needed for combustion, but this element is not.
I just thought of carbon monoxide.
I don't know. No, what's burnt air?
Carbon
Nitrogen.
monoxide. Carbon.
That is incorrect. The answer was nitrogen.
Oh, today. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay, toss-up number 15 is in history. This co-founder of the American Civil Liberties Union spent her final years raising money for the American Foundation for the Blind. Her degree from Radcliffe College was partly paid for her by Alexander Graham Bell. Name this woman whose book, The Story of My Life, says, "The most important day I remember in all my life is the one on which my teacher, Anne Sullivan..."
Helen Keller.
That's correct. Rocky, your bonus is in fine arts. Jan Vermeer painted several women wearing blue and or yellow. Part A. This most famous work of his shows the subject looking at the viewer and wearing a hanging blue and yellow headscarf with an orange dress.
Oh, it's the pearl earring.
Pearl ear.
Woman with the
Woman
pearl.
with the pearl. Woman with the pearl earring.
Okay, woman with the pearl earring.
Judges, what do you say?
You have to go by what's in bold, right? Yeah.
Okay.
Then no.
It was super close. It was a girl with a pearl earring. Part B. This painting shows a servant woman pouring the tidal liquid into a pot. She is wearing a blue apron, a yellow shirt, and an orange skirt.
It's like water. Water. Oh, the water jug. I feel like it's jug.
But it's a liquid.
Yeah, it says title.
Yeah, water.
Oh.
Milk jug.
Time.
No.
The answer was the milkmaid.
That's the way.
That's the end of the match. We'll be back in a few minutes to announce the final score.
I chose to come to collegiate high school because you get free college and your high school diploma at the same time, and that's the best opportunity for any high school student.
I wanted to grow as an individual, and so I decided to move here to not be grouped into these different categories that you find in like traditional high schools.
I came to collegiate because I wanted to get used to college work and just being in a college environment before I actually move on to a bigger university.
The thing that makes Collegiate High different from other schools in Okaloosa County is that we're a small school. Students that attend the Collegiate High School are not just a number. We know students by name because of the small school atmosphere.
So what's great about this school is that all the faculty are here to help you.
They want them to excel in their academic life and personal life.
At the other schools, I felt like I wasn't quite being challenged enough in all the fields, but here it's like, you know, you have teachers that teach you well, and they teach you what's going to be applied in the future.
Many students think that if you go to collegiate, you can't play sports, you can't be in music, you can't be a high school student, but I still went to homecoming. I still went to the football games. I had fun with all my friends. And collegiate doesn't take that away from you. It adds on to your amazing personality.
In order to be successful at collegiate high school, motivation, student motivation. You have to be academically motivated because you'll be academically challenged.
But when you go to a university, they'll see that you're dedicated and you're willing to take the course load that you'll be taking.
Let's say if you come one thought. This thought is that you are unstoppable. Because if you come here thinking, you know, there's going to be too much work, there will be. It's not an easy school, it's a tough school. But you're going to come, and if you come thinking that nothing will stop, you will be successful, and you will be a college student.
Okay, we have a final score of Baker 30 and Rocky Bayou 205. Thank you to all the students who participated in today's match, and thank you viewers for watching this exciting event. We'd also like to thank our corporate sponsors, Microsystems Incorporated and Master Wall Incorporated. Stay tuned next time for further tournament action, and good night.